Hey guys, today we're gonna record how to add SQLite to your server stack project. So this is the same project from last time. I haven't changed nothing yet, and we're gonna go into I forget. I usually use .NET, but we're doing it in the Explorer today. Manage NuGet packages for this solution. I said, whoops. We don't need it for that. Actually, we just want it for this project. My bad. My bad. You don't want it for the whole solution. Not the whole solution. Also, if you want to ever stop it from auto building whenever you build just to test the server, that's right there where you take it out. But we'll worry about that a little bit later. So we're going to need two packages right here. We're going to need ORM lite, which it says, oh, on ORM lite. Don't you sass me, boy. Don't you sass me. We're going to go ahead and tap that right in. Boom. It's installed. There'll be a little pop-up asking me if I really want to do this. I'm like, Now, ORM lite. Get out of here. Get out of here. Shoot. There it is. Shoot. Alright, that's installed. Let's talk about what. Oh, there's a suite extension on top of IDO.NET's underlying IDB connection, providing dry typed access for common blah 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 blah. Basically what it's saying is you can use objects to query a database by setting up SQL queries through something called a SQL expression object. Very nice. Now, you need a little bit just more. I'm trying to dumb that down a little bit. And it uses plain old tacos. I forget what that fucking means because I hate that word. I actually hate the word taco. I'm like, oh, that's the stupidest fucking thing ever I've ever heard of. It's plain old CLR objects. That's it. That's it. Fuck you. Fuck you. So that's all we need there. What it allows you to do is store, retrieve, and query POCOs that are stored in a database. Now, you can use any database. You don't have to use SQLite. You don't have to use Postgres. You can flip them out interchangeably down to a little bit of level. Mostly. Like, there's a few things between each of them that aren't compatible, but Service Stack, when it's not there, emulates it. And that mostly happens just for, like, dumber down databases and SQLite, because SQLite doesn't support auto versioning or something like that. Yeah, basically auto versioning is the one thing that isn't supported through all the different ones. But there's a way to emulate it with Service Stack. What row versioning is it helps with optimistic concurrency updates. It adds a field to your table. I forget what the field is called. It's like row ID or something. And it checks whenever you update that the two match, that the row ID of what you're sending in, not the row ID, the optimistic currency field, which is just like an int or a double, I forget. I think it's an int. And that the two match. So no one else is updated. Whenever that record gets updated, that field gets updated too automatically by the database or the emulator. And then it lets you know, because you can check number of records updated on the return, or I think there may be a error thrown if you set the right annotation on the field, which is lovely. What this means is you can just be a little bit less careful with your updates in smaller applications, because you're like, well, I'll know if the data's been updated before I update it again. And if I have stale data, optimistic concurrency will help me figure that out. It's very nice, very nice. So we'll go ahead and install SQLite. We just need the little adapter for ORM. Light, simple, fast, convention-based code first PUKU. ORM for SQLites. Support for creating, dropping, and pooping directly into the database. you can poop directly into the database. You can just pull your pants down, pin a coda for 20 minutes, and go and pump out an application. Yay! All right, let's go ahead and hit accept. All right, it looks like it installed. Okay, yeah. So this is this. Let's see, before publish or whatever. This stuff you might, if you want to take it out, um, it that's it, because every once in a while when you compile a service stack project, it's like I need to rebuild npm, and I'm like, fuck you, no you don't. I'll build npm. You don't touch it, and then it sits there for 20 minutes because I don't know what the fuck it's doing sometimes. That's one of the, but you just take it out there and it stops doing that stuff, and then it stops being annoying. So now, since we're doing this in a web app, an ASP.NET app, we need to tell it that we have a SQLite database. So we're going to go ahead, I copied and pasted this code over. Container register, IDB connection. Now we just hit Alt Enter here, have it fix all your shit code for you. All your shit code. Fix all the shit code. Boom. And this will add a, so now, okay, let's talk about what container adds to. You have something called the host context. Host context. And you can resolve a singleton type object from it, IDB connection factory. Now I can use that later on in the code to get the instance of this ORM like connection factory that I registered. That's what that does. That's all you need to do. So now we have our SQL connection set up. Normally you'd do something smarter here, like we'll talk about app settings and app settings development. This is run when you're in dev mode. This is run whenever you're in production mode, and you can add something. You know, you can just add. These are the defaults. Don't worry, I'm not exposing anything here. You can add like DB connection string here, blah, and you can get it here by you can pull that out here, and then like it's automatically there, and then this one's automatically for debug, and that one's, and the other one will be running production only. Very nice, very nice, very well thought out. And then there's, well, you don't want to necessarily put your what's it called, API keys in there, and that's what we'll get into that in another episode called Manage User Secrets, which is this little nice thing. I know all your secrets, user. Anyway, so that's all we got for that bit. Now let's actually use the DB connection factory. Oh wait, we can't yet because we have to set up our database. Well, we don't have to set up our database. We have to set up or initialize and make sure the tables are created. That way, and that's just as simple as telling it what object to use. So we'll create a init db tables function here. We'll pass the container to it. Here, let's do this. We'll do it the lazy way. First, we'll use CodeMate to clean the code. Control M space. You'll want CodeMate installed. It's one of the best plugins. And then you want to say init database tables container. And Alt Enter, generate method. Thank you. Because I couldn't remember what the container type was. Oh, look, it's just capital container. Ha. Remove that up here. Now, we don't have any POCOs to put in there, so we're going to go ahead and go over to our service model. We're going to say add a class. The class name is going to be do_pp. do_pp.cs. This is the new foobar. Now, here's a problem. I don't have a reference yet over here to Service Stack or ORM Lite, and it may need some of those, or Service Stack data, I believe. But let's just continue on. we're going to need a public int ID field. Now, you do need an ID field on every Poco object that you want to store. There's options here, but we're going to go with the most basic. We're going to say it's a primary key, and it auto increments. Now we're just going to kaboom that. Oh wait, no, it's no S there. Kaboom that. Boom. Now we've got now it will whenever we go back to the other side, it'll create that for us, and then let's just give it a random data field. We'll say public int do the size, and we'll say public string do the smell, and then let's go ahead and make one more field, public int do the doo-dooer. Oh no, we'll get into that later, where we can make the next lesson will be about referencing other objects that are actually in other tables using annotations, which is really easy. But I just want to show one more annotation. So we'll say the doo-dooer ID. Later we'll reference this somewhere else, but get set, and we're gonna only allow one doo-dooer to have one record per doo-dooer, so we're going to make the doo-dooer ID unique. And that's all we got to do. And it's done. Now let's go back up down here to startup, and we're going to say, well, first let's get the IDBD connection factory, now using db equals resolve IDB connection factory dot open. Now the error should go away. Oh wait, I need a var, don't I? There we go. Now, what this has done is scoped this db variable to the block I'm in. You could put it in a smaller block. You could do the old style where the using is the block, but I prefer not to. I prefer in this instance. So with that, at the end of this function, the connection we open will be dissolved and let go properly. It's even better in somewhere else, but we'll get to that some other day. Now, db. Now we need to make sure we haven't already created this table. So if db table exists, do-d, how did I spell that? Do-do pp, right? If this doesn't exist, then db create that shit, man. Do-do pp. And there we go, it's done. And that's it. Now create the table on startup. For the final bit of this example, we're going to go to our hello service. We're going to say, oh, okay. Oh, wait, that's not the service, that's the object. We're going to go to our hello service. And, well, we're going to say, now, inside a service, the DB connection's already set for you. You don't have to resolve it. It'll already be scoped away at the end of this block. That's one of the joys of C# and Service Stack. I do enjoy it myself. And we want to say, hey, we want the duty PP. Well, actually, first let's tell it what table we want to talk to. And from that we're going to create a SQL expression equals db, or I think it's db dot from. That. Now, did I forget something here? Or we're not using... Oh, okay. db dot from. No. From. I think I have to include a using. No. Hold on, let me pause the video for a second. Oh, I can't. I'm using Switch. We use db from. Hold on. Let me check my notes. I set up some notes for this. I don't want to. Yeah, it is db from. I was right. Okay. I think we're just missing a using statement. So now it should allow us just to create a. The hell? Oh, it is. Okay, using service stack.or. Oh, yeah. Okay. I know what the problem is. We haven't had this one. Okay, this is very simple. I got a little bit ahead of myself. We want to manage NuGet packages again, but this time on the service interface package. I'm going to go to Browse. We don't have to install SQLite. We just need to install ORM Lite. Now, we could have done this at the beginning and installed on multiple projects, but I'm a goofball, so yeah. I was like, wait a minute. I know I've typed that code like 1,000 times. The hackers, mate. All right, there we go. So now we have a SQL expression. You can do a lot of wonderful things from that. You can say where, like there's all sorts of helpful functions here. All sorts. Select distinct, blah, 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 duty woody. But we're just going to say where A. And now, hold on, it's acting up. Here's the problem with service. Here's one of the few problems is you have to hit that button. It adds so many helper functions to every object. Sometimes you lose your members. Now, we're going to say duty smell equals really stinky. And then, okay, now, except what did I do wrong here? Whenever you do something like that, you have to reassign it or chain it. You can just chain it. And it's this, it's a chainable object, but for this demonstration, we're not going to chain it. Now, how do I actually get the record? Well, do you want a list or do you want a single? We're just going to say, I want all of them. So, we're just going to say var smelly equals db select SQL expression. And there you go! It's all done for you! You got smelly! And what is smelly? Well, it's a list of dodo babies straight from the database. All right, enjoy yourselves. Next lesson be tomorrow.